It's been a month, and the Masters have shown their hand. But the points they make rely on an insane assumption that the game came out working as normal, telling a predestined story that's been in the works for years, but the reality is simply that it isn't. It's a beautiful beast characterized by cut content and bugs, and nothing is as it seems. I have over 150 hours in the game, all of which in some way have been moving towards discovering the truth of what's actually going on in the Pizzaplex, and what secrets it holds, and who's really in control.
I'm not here to make guesses or stretch information to meet my agenda. I far prefer to look at things as they're presented at face value, to try and capture the true spirit of Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. Why did this screwdriver allow me to travel back in time to resurrect Monty? Why is the Mapbot jump scare easily the scariest in the game? Why is this Monty the deadliest thing in the game? Does Vanny hold any significance at all, considering it's a rarity that we see her? How can the animatronics teleport? What do each of the 6 endings mean? How many people have lied to you about how the VIP ending works? And how many times is Afton going to come back? I'm not here to offer speculation. I'm here to provide answers. No longer must we rely on fan theories to construct an image in our minds of what's really going on, because my information is coming straight from the source. Though many people have read the books, I've played the game. The game starts with Freddy passing out and falling over on stage, presumably because Gregory has messed something up inside of him. But this isn't true. Do you really think that Freddy could have gone this first few minutes of showtime without noticing anything? And can you possibly imagine the crew who dragged him back to his room not checking his stomach hatch for an idea of what's up? Definitely not. Gregory got inside of Freddy after he returned to his room. Freddy was hacked by an external source while on stage. Someone who had access to the Pizzaplex's consoles and an intricate knowledge of animatronic systems. Someone who's been hiding for a long time, slowly learning. And for that matter, who's running the Pizzaplex anyway? The only staff we know of are the bots, Vanny/Vanessa, and maybe Afton. Someone or something is in charge of helping the animatronics teleport to Gregory every time he's seen by a staff bot. It isn't them, they are simple performers. But Freddy too can also teleport, despite being on the side of Gregory. There is a being pulling the strings and toying with Freddy, Gregory, and the others. Or there is a power struggle going on between 2 powerful individuals. One wanting to prevent Gregory from escaping the Pizzaplex and learning the truth, and the other trying to help him escape, or using him to push their own agenda. The Pizzaplex isn't as simple as it seems, something I've learned from tearing it apart with my bare hands like wet Play-Doh. They say the power is redirected to allow the animatronics to charge once an hour, and yet you can freely charge Freddy without influencing the power of other systems throughout the Pizzaplex, and without advancing time. So, this means that either charging doesn't require as much time and energy as we thought, or maybe time itself isn't what we think it is in the Pizzaplex. Let me ask you a question. If all Gregory and Freddy had to do was make it to 6 AM for Gregory to escape, what would have been the most logical solution? Well, hide in Freddy's penthouse, of course. They could have vibed through the night without a hitch, and Gregory could have simply left in the morning. Unless Freddy knew that time wouldn't flow as one might expect. Throughout the series, time has flowed as intended, with the player needing to survive a limited night cycle. So what's different about the Pizzaplex? Time doesn't progress naturally. Instead, time is assigned to items and actions in game, and in no particular order for that matter. Escaping the vent is 11:30 PM, getting to the front door is midnight, Pizzabot time of death is 1:30 AM, screwdriver is 2 AM, and so on. It doesn't matter what time it is, the screwdriver is always 2 AM, and the head is always 5:15. Whoever is trying to kill Gregory has a lot to lose, because the Pizzaplex is capable of time travel. And that's where Moon comes into play. After showtime, Freddy is taken down by a Moon Man and dragged off. Something incredibly glossed over in the game. But why would this ever happen? Besides a stern warning from Vanessa, all the animatronics seem free to explore as they please. Well, allow me to show you a clip from my stream. What you just witnessed was Moonman instantly killing me after I advanced time to get to 6 AM early. and it gives us a glimpse into what he really is. You wouldn't expect the daycare attendant to be allowed to leave the daycare. That makes no sense, unless there was a specific purpose for it. Unless Moonman was also trying to stop Gregory from discovering the time secrets of the Pizzaplex. We call him TVA Moonman, Time Variance Authority. Constantly on the hunt, always trying to catch and stop anyone who dares mess with the timeline. If you ever dare time travel out of order into a time when he's allowed to come out, he'll get you. Because somehow he knows what you've done. Just like the TVA getting alerted of a variant, Moon knows. And he'll hunt you down until you fix the timeline. So let's return to this. Getting in the charging station sets the time to 2:55 a.m. And getting into the next room sets the time to 3:15. If Freddy had made it in to charge and you'd progressed into the parts and service repair bay, 20 minutes would have passed like that, breaking the illusion of the natural passage of time. So TVA Moonman had to step in, forcing the player to go through stupid vent and face the endos maintains the illusion. There's no doubt the Pizzaplex is powerful. It's likely that whoever this is has been kidnapping children like Gregory, perhaps to use them to destroy the Pizzaplex or expose its secrets, hacking Freddy to help them. And this is whoever is really running the Pizzaplex, to preserve its power for themselves and their goon squad. I've of course figured it out through extensive testing. So, Lydia, what you think of the theory so far? It's pretty good, right? Look, I know things haven't been great between us, Lydia, but we used to get along so well. Don't you remember those days, Lydia? I'll make you understand, Lydia. I'll explain who's really on top of the Pizzaplex. You'll see. But before we get to that, let's look over a few other oddities within the Pizzaplex to prove that time is relative and nothing is as it seems. Lowering voice volume skips all audio cutscenes immediately, because even sliders affect time. Falling out of the world places you back inside because the only way out is to force a time of day. It seems that the Pizzaplex exists floating in its own dimension. Perhaps that is how it's been able to escape the law all this time, by moving freely between this void dimension and reality. If you play Security Breach up to any point, save somewhere, and decide to start a new game, you don't get a new game. Instead, Gregory's cycle is restarted within the same world. I know this because if you die in the new playthrough without saving, you'll be sent to the other playthrough instead of starting at the beginning of the game. There are no differing save files, only one world where Gregory's trying to escape and someone is trying to prevent him from finding the truth. But who? Well, let's take a look at the source. Let's see what Steel Wool had to say in their only message after launch, addressing the issues found within the game. If you allow some humor for a moment, early on in development, Mapbot caused more bugs than any other character in the game, and despite my constant requests to throw him in a volcano, the team wouldn't let me. Mapbot gave you the most trouble? Mapbot gave you the most problems? Mapbot, the most functional part of this video game, that I have yet to see have any error, glitch, mistake, problem, and Mapbot was the most challenging part of the game? Either this is an outright lie, or the problems that Mapbot had weren't development related, but story related. How did we miss this? Which is the only character who can spawn in on their own record and always catch Gregory? Mapbot, who works against Gregory by providing the shittiest map known to humanity that has no markings on it and can't be zoomed in on. Mapbot, who would have the intelligence and technical ability to run the Pizzaplex, teleport the animatronics, and control the staff bots, all while hiding in plain sight and setting up an already dead Afton to pose as the enemy while he maintains full control of permanent youth and strength by abusing time travel. The only bot who doesn't get dirty. The only bot who knows who you are. The only one whose allegiance no one ever questions. For the first time in the nearly decade-long history of FNAF, the developers threw the truth in our face at launch and we missed it. It's all Mapbot. And it always has been. He owns TVA Moonman. He controls the teleports, the staff bots, and the Pizzaplex as a whole, all while plaguing Vanessa's mind in an attempt to control and defeat his only adversary, Vanny. If Freddy doesn't get hacked at the start of the game, we all know what would have happened if he found Gregory. We've seen it before. It's Vanny who hacked into Freddy and turned him onto Gregory's team. Why else would she be hiding out in the Pizzaplex, with access to a computer setup that looks vaguely like my room? There's also evidence of this in her therapy sessions recordings.
And I'm surprised by your knowledge of computers. You're something of a phenom. Do you know what that word means? It means you have unusual skill. Like a hacker.
When she's Vanessa, Mapbot torments her mind and turns her against Gregory. Like when Mapbot guided Vanessa to Gregory in order to bring him into the screwdriver at 1:55 as to not break the illusion of natural passage of time. But her mind is clear as Vanny, and just like the trailer suggested...
Gregory, we can get you out of here. You and me together.
She is trying to help Gregory. Given that it's been Vanny kidnapping kids like Gregory, it's likely that she isn't necessarily trying to help Gregory escape, but instead use him for her own agenda. But either way, she keeps him safe from Mapbot and his goons. Just like Mapbot teleports animatronics on Gregory to kill him, Vanny teleports Freddy to save him. On the few occasions where we do see Vanny, why do you think she's always behind Gregory? She's never in the way, but she knows that fear is a driving force, so she comes from behind Gregory, scaring him forward to complete his goal, prompting him to pick up the screwdriver, finish showtime, and escape Trashland. Vanny and Mapbot are locked in an eternal struggle for power over the Pizzaplex and its time travel. Like when Vanny tries to take Freddy somewhere like El Chips where Mapbot is more powerful, you can see the teleporting struggle between them, something that I've coined as Quantum Freddy. But while Mapbot wants control and to live forever, it's the complete opposite for Vanny. The therapy tapes reveal a very troubled girl.
He said he would always be watching. He could be here.
Or 2. Given the time travel potential of the Pizzaplex, it's not absurd to assume that Vanny and Vanessa are simultaneously individuals, but are still the same girl, differing in motives and character, but having been split by timelines. Vanessa has lived in turmoil, constantly being toyed with as Mapbot threatened her and watched her every move, constantly bending her towards his will. While Vanny has vowed to get revenge on Mapbot and the Pizzaplex by hacking Freddy and abducting children to use in an effort to take it down. Gregory is just that. A poor, abducted, likely homeless child with no connection to the story other than being wrapped up in Vanny's plans. Vanny can't do it herself because Mapbot can track her too easily, but she knows she can use Gregory with Freddy to exact revenge on everyone who worked to hurt her and take down the Pizzaplex. Going down with it. Vanny will do anything to complete her mission of revenge and find peace in the void, leaving Vanessa, Mapbot, and the Pizzaplex to burn. There are 6 ways this ends. Escape, Vanny, Princess Quest, car battery, fire, and true ending. The Vanny ending is the first and simplest, and I mean simplest because speedrunners get there in 3 minutes. Gregory knows the secrets of the Pizzaplex, but knows he'll never escape. Vanny, knowing her plans of destroying the Pizzaplex have failed, breaks his heart by attacking Freddy. Gregory reacts in fear and anger, giving Vanny the escape she desires, free from the torment of Mapbot. Freddy, now dying on the ground and no longer under Vanny's spell, realizes that he really did grow in fondness of Gregory throughout their time together. And as he lays dying, he tells Gregory that he's his superstar. And it's real this time. He's no longer hacked. He genuinely cared. Princess Quest ending continues the cycle. Gregory sneaks into Vanny's room and starts gaming on her arcade machine. He is enamored by the little golden girl with the sword and, like many of us, games all day. As he finally finishes the last level and looks at the time, it's 11 p.m. The night begins again, and Gregory screams as Mapbot takes him away to stuff him back into Freddy's chest, where he dreams of a world that doesn't exist. Vanessa overcoming her turmoil, Freddy and him escaping the Pizzaplex, and sharing ice cream over top a hill. It's an all too fictitious daydream of a poor boy who is doomed to wake up and start everything over again. Car battery ending is where Mapbot is ignored. Gregory and Freddy escape the Pizzaplex together, but sure enough, Mapbot's there to try and stop them. Away from his teleport animatronics, there's nothing Mapbot can do. And they escape together, putting the Pizzaplex behind them. It's unknown what happens to Vanny, probably locked forever in the Pizzaplex, doomed to struggle with her grip on reality as Mapbot continually alters time. The escape ending varies. Either Vanny comes after homeless Gregory to help him spread the word about the Pizzaplex and finally get it shut down, or Vanny comes to get back at Gregory for leaving the Pizzaplex without fulfilling her plans. Because even though it seems like Vanny comes immediately to homeless Gregory, with time travel, who knows how long it's actually been for Vanny since Gregory left. That leaves us with two endings. The one considered canon, apparently, and the ever-confusing Fire/VIP ending. Like I mentioned earlier, Afton has been reduced to nothing. A mere puppet for Mapbot, posing as a secret villain. Based on the zombie movements and lack of any voice lines, I would wager that Afton is even deader than a walking corpse. Like a zombie shot in the head, Afton should have been gone for good, but Mapbot controls his systems and is pretending that he's still with us under the pretext of, "I always come back." And by design, this fight has no guidance and makes no feckin' sense. Are you supposed to hide behind the bed, scream inside of Freddy, or just use Fredor? Neither of them make any sense, since the only guidance you're given is to hide, and it's too ridiculous to be real advice. Similarly to the car battery ending, Gregory and Freddy escape. But unfortunately, they think they defeated the baddie and the Pizzaplex will be safe. But little do they know that Afton was just a lifeless puppet on strings. Just like Afton is a distraction from the truth, this ending is a distraction from the real ending, and what I believe is canon. For the Pizzaplex and its time travel is too powerful to remain in this world. With all 5 other endings, either Mapbot wins or Gregory escapes while the Pizzaplex and its tyrannical leader remains. But the VIP/Fire ending changes all of that, and is the real way to end the game, fulfilling Vanny's mission. I guarantee to you that you've been lied to about how to unlock this ending. The internet's lied to you. Your favorite YouTubers lied to you. You don't need all the golden collectibles. You don't need the golden masks. You don't need 60 collectibles, and you don't need 40 collectibles. It's been Mapbot's doing clouding everyone's mind about how this ending really happens, because it's the only ending where Mapbot truly loses. Freddy burns down the Pizzaplex, destroying all of its power, and removing Mapbot in the process. Vanny comes to Gregory to thank him, but then Freddy spots her. Knowing that she hacked him and has been partially controlling him, Freddy flies into a furious rage, knocking them both off the rooftop. For Vanny, it's the perfect release she was looking for, with Mapbot defeated and her soul finally being able to rest. The remnants of tormented Vanessa finally being destroyed, along with the Pizzaplex. This is the true ending, where the power within the Pizzaplex is destroyed and Gregory goes on to live whatever life he lived prior. Most likely homeless, and potentially orphaned. It's sad, but that means that there will be no more kidnappings by Vanny to perform her plot. There have been many kidnapped children, and it's likely that Vanny largely chose children who wouldn't have many people looking for them, so if they failed their mission, not too much suspicion would be raised. Like I said before, that's who our hero is. Poetically, Gregory's just a pleb that was taken off the streets by Vanny. Likely told that if he was caught by anyone, he would have no help except from a big animatronic who wouldn't understand or be able to change anything if he knew what was really going on. In order to pull off this ending, you need 39 collectibles. Any collectibles, it's gotta be 6 a.m. Yeah. Why it's 39? I don't know. We all hate 39. In fact, whenever I bring it up, new people in the stream literally cringe in disgust at how you need 39 collectibles. People just hate the number 39. All my homies hate the number 39. There is one character I never mentioned, who sits in the middle of our table. Gigamonti. If you don't know, Gigamonty is the Spotlight Monty from the Showtime sequence, but when he hits the ground, becoming an unstoppable force that never teleports but also never loses aggro. The perfect killing machine. In this world, Gigamonty is like a god of the free world, never daring to intervene in the narrative of free-willed individuals, but standing tall as the pinnacle of adversity. Neutral to both causes, Gigamonty just wants to fuck something up. So, Lydia, did you like my little lore theory there? You gonna subscribe to the channel? What? I never did that with Lydia. Who's telling you this? Lydia, I've been nothing but faithful. Whenever Chad would tell me to go get Liddy because he moves so much better than you do, oh sure, now I'm the one being mean. As if you're not the one who's constantly flying back down the stairs and making it way harder to push than go get. You're fine. Next all ending speedruns, you're getting skipped.